Hello, we are in Kitakyushu. It's the most northern city on the island of Kyushu. I've just been to Beppu, which you'll have seen. Actually, yeah, you've seen the last vlog. Didn't get to film much there, only that day because it was just raining the whole time. But it was nice, onsen town, plenty of hot springs, and there's plenty that I could go in with tattoos. But we're in Kitakyushu now. I just needed somewhere to stay for a few days because the place I wanted to go to next, there wasn't a place available. So we're staying here. You'll have just seen Tanga Market. Picked myself up some lunch. I'll show you that in a minute and we'll do a little food review. It's kind of weird here. My hostel is definitely in like the red light district, if you want to call it that, but there's Soplans, 100%, and loads of like just kind of weird looking clubs. If you don't know what Sopland is, look it up, but don't be around other people when you look it up. So for lunch today, I bought myself some of the fancy strawberries that they do here. This was like £3.50 for 8 strawberries, which does seem kind of like a rip-off, but they are massive and they're supposed to taste a little bit better. I guess we'll do a review. And then weird combination to go with it, but there's a really nice man selling some fried chicken and look like pretty massive pieces of it. So yeah, let's try some of this and see what it tastes like. Not right. I often find the fried chicken here is way too fatty. It's really oily. It kind of feels like slime in your mouth. That was only 200 yen though, so it was less than half the price of these strawberries and fried chicken, which is crazy. I guess my lunch is strawberries now. They're fucking good strawberries. Also massive. That's good. I'm not actually that hungry at the moment, so I'll eat those a bit later. Heading to make a quick pit stop at a shop to try and sell my old camera because I do not want to carry it around with me. And then I think the next stop is actually the toilet museum. I mean, there's not much to do here, so I thought I'd go check it out. I think it'll be funny. I don't think the cashier really understood me, even when I was using Google Translate. He seemed very confused, so I haven't been able to sell it. Hopefully there's a different store called Softmap that will buy it when I get to Fukuoka. If not, I'm bringing it home. Because they're like going for like £30–40 on eBay. It's way too much for me to throw it away. Onto the toilet museum. That was actually super interesting. I guess it technically wasn't a toilet museum specifically. It's actually Toto, the company, who do make toilets, but also make things like bidets, hand dryers, ceramics is how they started. So there was a whole collection of plates and mugs and things. It was actually really interesting to see everything. And they also had the fanciest public bathrooms ever, obviously being a company that produces a lot of high-end bathware. I walked into the toilet and there were the urinals, but I thought to myself, I don't need to go, but I'm going to go into the stall because I reckon they've got a fancy toilet in there, or at least a fancy bidet. And as I walked in, the fucking seat automatically opened, motion censored, and it was their top of the range model they had in there. It had all sorts of fancy buttons as well that you could press, even a dryer to dry your arse, which is something that I've never experienced before. Overall, an enjoyable experience. It was also free, which makes it even more enjoyable. I'm now walking back down the river. The river's pretty high up at the moment. I mean, there has been quite a lot of rain over the past few days. But we're going to cross the river soon and stop in the park to eat my strawberries. I might also grab something else because I'm starting to feel very hungry now. Just pick up a pastry maybe, because that chicken was trash. And then I believe it's the castle after that. It's next on the list. I'm hoping it doesn't rain. The sky is grey. It said it was going to rain around 6 o'clock tonight, which I should be done with my day by then. Well, we'll go get dinner. I'm thinking of to go and get some curry. Japanese curry though this time, not Indian curry. So just stop for some more scran. So we've got the strawberries, and then I've got this ham and egg and cheese sandwich from Lawson, as well as some of the best Pringle flavour there is, and then some orange juice. I'm going to get this scanned off and then we'll head to the castle. That was Kokura Castle. I didn't go in because I heard on reviews that it wasn't worth it. 700 yen to get in, and there's not much to see inside. So I decided to wander around the outside. It looks fairly big. Osaka was definitely bigger. I can see it right now, that's what I'm looking up. Just stopped and had a wander around. There's a little vintage clothing thing going on around there. But I don't need any more clothes. When I get to Southeast Asia, I'll probably end up buying some more stuff for the hot weather. But yeah, right now I don't need any more. And then I also went into basically their version of Sports Direct. It's got like the same style, writing and colours and everything. I'm looking to get potentially get a packable jacket for when I go trail running. Save me having to take this. I can just throw that in my bag. Didn't have anything great in there though. I also need a space blanket for in case anything goes wrong. It's just better to be sensible. Maybe some gels as well. I'm just going to have a wander around the other side of the castle now and then head to the manga museum. It's about the only thing that's here, so I thought I'd kill some time and have a look around that. Hopefully it's not too expensive to get in, because whilst I've read Berserk, or I'm in the middle of reading Berserk, I'm not really that interested in manga. Although if you do want to get into it, Berserk is 100% the best way to do it. It is regarded as one of the best. And then I found a curry spot for dinner tonight, so I'll go smash that in later on. So, turns out, just from where I was, there is a massive Montbell store, and I absolutely love Montbell, so went in and found exactly what I needed. Space blanket, a emergency mineral gel. I've got sweets, but minerals to keep my salts up. It's just in case anything does go drastically wrong. You know, prepare for the worst. Thankfully, for the next couple of months, it's never going to be getting that cold on an evening. If I'm stuck up there for a while, because Southeast Asia is going to be really hot, and same here, it doesn't really get that cold in the night. It gets like 15 degrees, so a space blanket should do. If I was back in England, I want a survival bivvy, because that's going to keep me a hell of a lot warmer. And then I'll give you a little peek now. You can see there is also a packable jacket in there. They had a half price sale on, couldn't say no. I've also been wanting a sort of slightly flashier coloured jacket as well. And whilst it's thin, I think it's going to be perfect for Southeast Asia. I can send this back. I was originally going to keep this, but it's not a lot of weight, but it is quite thick for 30 odd degrees, so that's going to help out a lot when it's pissing it down when I'm in Southeast Asia. My camera was running flat and the batteries are all gone. I don't know what's going on. I thought I had charged them. I had charged 2, but obviously the 2 hadn't been charged enough. Thankfully I moved around our battery pack, so we're all charged up now. Gonna head over to the manga museum, and then depending on time we'll go straight for dinner. But there might be a short break, nip back to the hostel, maybe start doing a bit of editing, and then we'll go for dinner. But I'll just play things by ear and see what happens. And that, guys, was the manga museum. It was pretty interesting. You got to see like the process of how it works, especially going through time. How a lot of it's become digitized now. But unfortunately, I mean, hey, it's a big surprise. I'm in Japan, but it was all in Japanese. It had like the titles were in English, but otherwise like all the descriptions were in Japanese. So I had to kind of guess what it was from the pictures. Overall, it was an enjoyable experience. I thought what was really cool, they have a massive store that you can go in and buy pretty much whatever you can imagine manga-wise, but including your entry fee is an unlimited time to just go in and sit down at chairs, like this big beanbag area, and there's one copy of every book that you can read. If you want to buy another copy, you'll get a fresh copy, but there's a copy of every single manga that they have in stock. And it's all out and it's in a protective cover, and you can just go in and read it and you can stay there as long as you want. And I think that's an excellent idea. It encourages more kids to read. It gives those who don't have either the space to store books or the money to afford books a chance to read affordably, because manga can get expensive, because you read a volume in an hour, sometimes even less. So I think it's a really good way to encourage people to keep reading that sort of stuff without them having to make the investment. So that's a great idea. Take note, English bookstores. I did get to see some like first editions of some really cool manga. They had Akira, the first edition. I was able to hold that. Ghost in the Shell, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! So that was all really cool. Original Attack on Titan. I was hoping they'd have the original Cowboy Bebop, because that's one of my favourite, that and Black Lagoon, but they didn't. I think for now though, I'm going to head back to the hostel because it's only about 4 o'clock and there's not really much else to do here. So head back to the hostel, whack my batteries on charge. The next thing you will see is me heading for curry. So guess who's a giant idiot? This guy. Just completely forgot I was making a YouTube video. So went for dinner without my camera. Went to Coco Curry. It was pretty good. I got the chicken katsu curry with the beef curry base, normal rice and level 2 spiciness. I mean, 2 was enough, and I think it goes up to like 40 or something ridiculous. Admittedly, I am white, but still, it only cost like £6 for the whole thing, probably near 7 actually. Hopefully whilst I've been talking there's been a video that I took of it overlaying over me speaking. If not, there'll be a few pictures. I've got my new jacket on. It is mostly for doing my trail running, but I think it looks good too. Tomorrow I'm going to go on a trail run, speaking of, and then that's kind of it. So I'm thinking this video isn't going to go up on the day that I filmed it. It's going to go up the following day because I'll have time to kill and I want something to do. So spending a few hours editing some photos is probably what I'll do. Go for my run around midday, be back for sort of 3 o'clock-ish, and then do my editing, because then the following day I'm travelling to a beach resort thing. I don't really know much about it, other than I was looking on booking.com on the map, just scrolling around, looking for something for a few days before I went to Fukuoka, and that place showed up, so I thought, I think I've got 4 nights there, and then I'm going to Fukuoka for the 30th, which is my last stop in Japan. I've booked my ferry out of here on the 4th, 1 day before I have to leave. That will have been 89 days then in total in this country, which is pretty mad to think. It'll basically be 3 months. I landed on the 5th of January. And then we're moving on to Busan in South Korea once we get the ferry. Got just about a week, maybe just over a week in South Korea, and then flying to Bangkok. So it's exciting times ahead. I'll be finally able to get rid of some of the shite in my bag. I've got so much heavy clothes from going skiing. When I was up in Hokkaido and stuff, it was, because it was like -5, you needed all these warm winter clothes, and now it's like, doesn't drop below like 12 on a night. It's not cold. I mean, I'm just wearing this really thin jacket with a t-shirt underneath it, and it's 8 o'clock at night. So I'm going to be sending a bunch of stuff home. Also, hopefully we'll get my bag fixed, because my main rucksack has ripped. The shoulder, one of the bits holding the shoulder strap on has ripped. It's like half ripped, so it's currently covered in tape, just to try and keep it together for the next 2 or 3 weeks until I can get it finally fixed. But for now, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you next time.